He promised to follow every rule of his probation. But when his officer took the stand, the truth came out. Now, James Ross Jr. faces a possibility of prison after his probation officer accuses him of lying and disappearing for months.
All right, so the record can be clear. Both parties have no objection to Officer Dixon appearing by Zoom,
That's correct.
and it's to get clarification or testimony in regards to whether or not Mr. Ross reached out to probation with any problems with his sobriety, and also to ask questions for whatever either side wishes to question the witness about. So there's no objections to the witness appearing by Zoom, is that correct?
None.
All right, Officer Dixon,
Yes, ma'am.
could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand. All right, if you'll state your name for the record.
Tama Dixon.
Miss Dixon, how are you currently employed?
I'm employed as an adult probation officer.
Okay. And in your duties as an adult probation officer, were you assigned to supervise James Ross Jr. as part of your case?
Yes.
Okay. And while supervising him, are you aware of who read him his terms of probation?
Yes, me.
Okay. And is one of the terms of probation that he is to report to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When is the last time, do you know how long or how frequently was the defendant supposed to report to you?
Once a month.
Okay. When is the last time that the defendant reported to you?
The last office visit was April 25th,
And what year was that?
2025.
Okay. And after that, had you spoken with the defendant, like on the phone or by any other means?
So his last visit was April 25th. And after that, I did not hear from him until June 9th, 2025.
Okay. And regarding the conversation on June 9th, 2025, without getting into the specifics of it, were you made aware of a warrant for his arrest?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you instruct him to do when you spoke with him on June 9th, 2025?
Once I spoke with the detective and he verified that the warrant was active, I instructed him to turn himself in and handle the warrant to clear it.
Okay. And to your knowledge, was that done? Well, actually, let me rephrase the question. Did you speak with the defendant again on June 12th, 2025?
June 12th. No, I do not have record of that conversation, no.
Do you recall ever speaking with him again after June 9th, 2025?
After June 9th, I talked to the detective, I talked to him. I didn't document it, so no.
Okay. Now, regarding the reporting that was supposed to be monthly, was that to be in person?
Yes, we were to report. He was to meet here in this office once a month on a date that I gave him.
Okay. And so any communication that you had with him via telephone, that would not satisfy the requirement for him to report to you in person. Is that correct?
That's correct. Unless I told him something like, oh, this can count, or we could reschedule or anything of that nature, but that was not done.
Okay. Now, regarding, were you made aware of any positive drug test regarding this defendant?
On May 1st, 2025, he did result positive for amphetamines and cocaine.
Okay. And so since you said the last time that you spoke with him in person was April 25th of 2025, between that date and the date that he tested positive, and then the date that you spoke with him on June 9th of 2025, did the defendant ever report to you having a substance abuse issue, which would require him to go inpatient or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Did he ever ask for any help specifically regarding substance abuse?
No.
Okay. And as far as the conditions that were in place for him, were you ever provided with any proof of completion of a parenting course?
Let me check my skin. I'm checking right now. No, I was not given a certificate of completion.
Okay. And then regarding any community service hours, did the defendant provide any proof that he completed any of the 200 hours that were assessed?
No, no completion was submitted.
Okay. We passed the witness, Your Honor.
Defense?
I just wanted to get some clarification. You said there was a positive drug test on May 1st,
It was May 1st, yes.
and where does that drug test take place at?
He goes to either recovery downtown, or he can come here on Mondays and Thursdays here at Bandera location.
Could you please tell us where that May 1st test was taken at?
Let me check and see. It tells me RMS, but I'm unaware if it's Bandera location or downtown. I just know that it's RMS.
And what does RMS stand for?
Recovery Medical Services or something like that. Yeah.
Is that the test provider?
Yes, that is. That's where they go and submit their drug test.
Okay, and so what you're saying is that your notes are inconclusive as to whether or not he came into your office in the month of May.
In the month of May, yes. I am unaware if he came here or downtown.
Okay, and when he comes to your office, I imagine he doesn't direct himself as to what to do when he arrives.
When he comes for a drug test, he's not to check in with me. He's only to check in with the drug test providers when they're here. So regardless, I wouldn't have known if he was here or not, because he does not check in with me when doing drug tests.
Okay, were you available that day when he showed up?
I'm not sure if I was available or not. He didn't ask for me or anything. I probably was in a meeting.
Okay, fair enough. Now, my next question is, did you receive a call from him on June 1st?
June 1st. Let me check. No.
Are you aware of the offense date of the alleged, I think it's new number 1 in the MTR allegations?
Let me check the MTR. I have it pulled up. The alleged date is June 1st, 2025.
Do you recall speaking to James Ross about that new number 1, the day that it happened? Did he call you or speak to someone at your office?
No, not on June 1st.
So my question to you is, do you document any and all communication with the client, or just those that you deem to be relevant?
All of them.
And it's your testimony that you did not speak with James Ross regarding his new number 1 allegation?
Not on June 1st.
When did you do that? When did you have that conversation, I should say?
On the 6th, the same day that I talked to the attorney about the case. It would be on the 6th, because that's the same day I talked to the detective,
So then you talked to James Ross on the 6th, and then you also talked to him again on the 9th, is what you testified to previously.
So I talked to the detective. I talked to him and the detective on the same day, not the 6th, on the 9th.
Thank you for clarifying. And what you're saying is between June 1st and June 9th, you had no contact with James Ross?
No.
Did James Ross send you any documentation from his most recent number 1 allegation that the state is alleged in the MTR?
Let me check my email. I'm checking my email as of now. No, the last email I received from James Ross was April 2nd, 2022.
Did he ever send?
I'm sorry, 2025.
No worries. So it's your testimony that he never sent you a Cash App receipt dealing with the new allegations that he was facing?
Judge, I'm gonna object as to outside of the scope. We've waived that, and she's not like a fact witness or anything, so.
Well, in response, Judge, we're here trying to establish whether or not he stayed in contact with probation, and that's the only line of questioning I'm trying to pursue.
All right, the objection will be overruled.
Again, did you receive a receipt from James Ross regarding his new allegation that was, I believe, a Cash App receipt?
Okay, it shows here. Actually, I have an email. After the second, I received the email on 6/17/2025. Payment, please call the probation. It was a payment from Bexar County. He submitted a payment towards his financial obligation on the 16th of 2025, and that was forwarded to me.
And what month was that again?
That was June 16th, 2025, and it was a payment of $34 towards his financial obligation.
Okay. So you spoke with him on the 9th, and then he made a payment on his probation fees and costs on the 16th?
On the 16th, yes.
And when was, and you said that, and just to be clear, you said that the positive urine screen was May 1st.
May 1st, yes.
Thank you. No further questions.
Nothing further, Judge.
All right, is this witness excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Subject to recall.
All right, does anyone have another witness?
Judge.
The defense would like to call Mr. Ross.
All right, could you rate, you're still under oath. All right, you may proceed.
Mr. Ross, on the date of the new alleged number 1 against you, did you call the probation department or Miss Dixon that day that it happened?
I did.
Who was with you when you made that call?
Tanya Monday.
Who was Tanya Monday to you?
All right, first of all, for the record, if you could spell the first name.
TWONYA.
All right,
And what date do you recall speaking to Miss Dixon?
It was the date of the alleged robbery. I believe it to be the 1st.
The 1st of what month?
June.
Is that a 2025?
Yes.
When you called her, did you reach her directly or were you rerouted to her when you called a general number? How did that work?
I reached her directly. I called to the office.
Okay. When you spoke with her, did you identify yourself?
I did.
Did you communicate to her about your circumstances and what had just happened to you?
I did. Told her I was worried that I was going to get in some trouble with this woman who was not trying to pay me for the work I'd done.
Okay. Now, without getting into the facts and circumstances of the case, why did you feel compelled to call Miss Dixon on the date that this incident happened?
Because after me and my girlfriend left, I saw police shooting past us in the opposite direction from which we came. So I felt like she'd called the police.
Okay. And you wanted to, as a result, make sure that you talked to probation and let them know about this alleged incident.
Right, I did.
Now, after June 1st, when is the next time you spoke to Miss Dixon?
When the detective contacted me to come to an interview with him.
And what day was that?
I don't remember the exact date.
Was it the same week as the incident?
I believe it to be, yes.
She's testified, I believe, that it was June 9th. Would you dispute that date?
No, I wouldn't dispute it.
Okay, sounds familiar to you?
It does.
Okay, and as a term and condition of your probation, you know you're not supposed to have police contact, correct?
Right,
And the detective would qualify as police contact. Is that fair to say?
it is.
And as a result, you wouldn't contact the probation and let them know about that contact.
I did.
Now, on June 16th, Ms. Dixon has indicated you sent her an email. Do you recall doing that?
June 16th.
Or whatever day you recall sending an email.
I do. That sounds familiar because I sent the detective the same copy of the receipt from the Cash App transaction. And then I also sent it to my probation officer so someone else would have it besides just the detective.
And again, we're not getting into the facts and circumstances of the case. We're just talking about communication.
Right.
And that email was sent around the 16th of June, 2025?
Yes.
Okay. Now, there was also some mention that you paid a fee. You recall doing that?
I do. I was trying to stay current on my probation fees.
Did you contact anyone at probation before you made the payment or after?
I don't recall,
How did you make the payment? Online or did you go into the office?
online,
Okay.
I believe.
All right. After you made that payment, did you hear from Ms. Dixon at all?
Yes, after she spoke with the detective. Next day, after she spoke with the detective, she instructed me that I should go and turn myself in.
Okay. And I'll leave it there. Thank you. No further questions.
All right, any questions?
Yes. All right, Mr. Dixon, so you're here, or Mr. Ross, you're here because you're on probation for possession of a controlled substance, PG 4 to 200 grams. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And so I want to take you back to May 20th of 2024 when you were placed under arrest for the offense that you're on probation for. Do you recall that date?
No,
Okay. And so that date you were traveling in a motor vehicle. Is that correct?
yes, it was not mine.
Okay. But you were in the driver's seat, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you were with another person on that day that was in the passenger seat, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so the officer pulled you over for a defective headlight. Is that correct?
Allegedly.
Okay, well, you understand that this was stipulated to, correct? When you took the plea, you said it was true and correct. You remember that?
Well, Your Honor, I'm going to object at this point
Okay,
for the simple fact that if he pled no contest, the court simply establishes a record. There's a basis to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt. That doesn't mean he's agreeing necessarily with everything in the report.
well, Judge, and I can ask him about it because it's part of the stipulations in the court's record, and it's going to whether he's actually a user, as they're claiming, or whether he had other intentions with the Controlled Substances Act.
All right, the objection is overruled.
Just really quick, I'm just trying to clarify so we understand. This line of questioning is about whether or not he's a user of drugs versus a seller of drugs, and he's on probation for using.
His estate waived the first count. So if I'm getting to blame my predicate as to what was found on him.
Okay, and he tested positive for drugs while on probation, which is use as well.
All right,
Users can.
the objection is overruled. The court will hear the question and the answer.
Okay. And so you understand that the officer stated that when he approached the vehicle that he smelled an odor of marijuana, right?
Understand that to be so.
Okay. And so when the officers searched your person, in your pocket, you were in possession of a scale. Is that correct?
Allegedly.
Okay, if that's in the stipulations, are you now disputing or contesting that?
I don't recall.
Okay.
That day it was lights blinding me in my face. I was snatched out the car and everything happened so fast. I really don't remember.
Okay. And then after that, you were in possession of 13 grams of methamphetamine. Is that correct?
That's not correct.
Well, I guess let me rephrase it. It was actually 17, but by the time it got to the lab, it was 13, correct?
Well, I'm going to object to that line of questioning because there's a field test and there's admitted labs through a state certified crime lab. Which one are we going off of? Because there's a reason.
Well,
There's a state certified crime lab.
Is he going to answer truthfully or not?
Well, we're trying to figure out what the question is. The 17 grams or 13 grams. We're just going with whatever the
Objection
stipulation.
is overruled.
So how much methamphetamine were you in possession of?
I wasn't in possession of any
So then why are you on probation for possession?
because I didn't want to lose my apartment that I just got and I wanted to be free. So I signed for something.
Okay, so help me understand this then. You're here asking the court for help because you have a drug problem. Is that what you're asking the court for?
I wasn't aware that I was asking the court for anything.
So you understand that you were here on a motion to revoke probation. You were present earlier before the lunch break, correct? And you heard the state asking the court to revoke you for 8 years. Is that correct? Okay, and you don't want to go to prison for 8 years. Isn't that true?
That's correct.
Okay, so what are you asking the court to do then?
To understand that, like, hoping not to get revoked.
On what basis?
You're charging me with, you're saying that I violated or 2 things only out of the 10 that you put on there. Saying that I was charged with this frivolous crime because I was panicked.
I'm very confused right now. So are you saying that on the date of the offense that you're on probation for, that you had been under the influence of a controlled substance, but you weren't possessing it? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on. So you were smoking marijuana then?
I think we need to, just for clarification, Your Honor, the word possession has a lay meaning and a legal meaning. And I think maybe that clarification is where the question.
No, I mean, you can recross, or I should say redirect.
Okay, and so it's your testimony. I mean, are you disputing that Miss Dixon testified that the last time that she saw you, that she personally observed you in her office, was in April of 2025? Are you disputing that?
No.
Okay, so to be fair, you never made contact with Miss Dixon in person after April of 2025. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, but it's your testimony that you had called and made contact with some different people at adult
No,
probation.
that's not my testimony.
Okay, well, explain to me. Go ahead.
I called Miss Dixon and tried to reschedule my appointment for the end of May, June. So I went in May and took a drug test to her office, but I didn't see her. So I made the payment and took the drug test.
Okay, so that's the drug test that came up positive, right? The one that was May 1st. Okay, and so you didn't report to Miss Dixon that day. You reported to the person that administered the urinalysis to you.
I actually did call her that day. And when I called her, I told her that, you know, I'm going to come take this test. I'm running late. So can I take it on the second half of the day? And I made it right before they left. So I was the very last person in there at like 5 o'clock. So when I showed up, and they allowed me to take the test.
Okay. And then you heard Miss Dixon testify that on June 16th of 2025, you submitted a payment of $34 to probation, correct?
Right.
Okay, and you stated that that's because you wanted to stay current on your fees. Is that correct?
I want to show the court that I'm actually trying and I'm taking it serious.
Okay. And so $34 was the highest amount of payment that you could make at the time?
Because I wasn't employed.
So then how do you have money to test positive for cocaine and amphetamine?
I have money, excuse me, to test. It was $11.
No, to buy
I didn't
controlled
buy.
substances and invest them. How did you?
I just told you that a friend came and smoked with me.
So it's your testimony that your friend came to your home and bought methamphetamine and cocaine. Y'all smoked it.
I didn't know about there being any cocaine, but I smoked meth then.
You smoked meth.
So it could have been in it. I wasn't aware of it because I didn't snort no cocaine.
Okay, but you didn't financially compensate this person for the narcotics. Is that correct?
No.
Okay.
Didn't.
You understand that as a term of your probation, you're not to hang around with people that engage in drug use and have criminal records, correct? Okay.
No, it's not my intention to be that way. I was under the stress of catching a whole aggravated robbery. That's what.
But you didn't reach out to probation and tell them, hey, I'm feeling so stressed. I'm about to use. Can you please help me? You didn't do that, right?
I called and let them know I called that I was worried about a case.
Did you specifically tell them that you were so worried that you were going to ingest narcotics is the question.
No, but
Okay.
I went to.
Thank you. And then regarding Tanya Monday, you stated that's your girlfriend?
Yes,
Okay, and she was with you on June 1st of 2025, correct? When you went to the alteration shop, she was with you?
yes, she took me. She asked her to bring me back.
Okay. We have the witness, Your Honor.
Just for some clarification, and this is an important question. You're saying on May 1st, when you went in for your drug test, you did speak to Ms. Dixon?
Yes,
Okay. And you're sure of this because you were running late that day and you ended up having to take your drug test later than usual?
right. I was supposed to take the first half of the day because they come and they leave at 1:30 and then they come back second half until 4:30.
And if you miss your appointment or you don't reschedule, that's a violation. You understand that?
I do.
And so you weren't violated that day, were you?
I was not.
And so someone had to have allowed you to take it in the second half of the day rather than the first half of the day. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, they're only there on Mondays and Thursdays.
My question is, the day that you came late,
Mhm.
you had to have permission to do that. Is that correct?
Yes,
Because otherwise, if you had not taken that test, you would have been violated, correct?
correct.
Okay, so somebody gave you that permission. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you're saying that somebody is Ms. Dixon?
She told me that I could come in and take it before they leave, but I must make it before they leave.
No further question.
I don't have anything further, Your Honor.
All right. Are you asking to recall Ms. Dixon? All right. Thank you, Officer Dixon. Court will hear argument.
Judge, so I'm re-urging the court to grant the state's motion, revoke the defendant, and sentence him to 8 years in the prison because this is clearly a person that has no intention of being on probation or doing good on probation. Essentially, we've called Ms. Dixon here to just call her a liar and say that she doesn't document correctly and that what he is saying to the court is true, that he did reach out on all these days that are not documented. And then I take issue with the fact that he's not even taking responsibility for the case that he's on probation for. He stipulates that the stips are true and correct, and then he wants to come in here and say, I don't remember, it wasn't that much meth. It wasn't mine when it was found exactly where he was sitting. Like, notwithstanding all of the testimony that's come today, the fact remains the same that probation has not heard from him or Ms. Dixon herself when he's supposed to be reporting monthly. Ms. Dixon has not seen him since April 25th of 2025. And that's an important fact for the court to consider because what is the purpose of defendants reporting to their probation officer? And so their probation officer can offer them assistance. So their probation officer can see, are they under the influence of narcotics? Are they being tempted? Do they need help? And he can't even do something as simple as that. And so, Your Honor, we are asking that you revoke him and sentence him to the 8 years.
Your Honor, and the court is privy to its own record and also access to probation. He was never required to report in person. He was reporting by Zoom. And so this idea that him going in person versus not in person, the bigger question is, was he reporting? He has this missed report date in May. Now, I am just speaking, I guess maybe in, I don't want to say realistic, but just maybe everyday ways of doing business, right? You establish a relationship with someone, and as things happen or unfold, you document, or whatever the case may be. I do imagine that there are conversations that happen that are not documented. And that's okay to the extent that I'm running late. Okay. And what I'm trying to draw out is that on this particular day, when he's supposed to test on May 1st, he's testified that I was supposed to be there in the morning. I was running late. I was allowed to come in the afternoon. The court is very well know if you're running late for a test, that can be used against you. You can be denied a reason to test, and that can be a violation. So someone gave him permission to do that. He's saying my probation officer did that. So if he's having contact with her on May 1st and there's no documentation of that, I get it if it's just simply a call of I'm running late. And that's fair. Those things happen, but that shouldn't be used against him to say that he didn't have contact. I don't know if that amounts to a formal meeting, right? A formal sit down or a formal Zoom call. But I think the idea of what we're trying to portray to the court is that he is trying to stay in compliance with probation. He's showing up for the test, and he did have contact in May.
So here's my question. My understanding is that this witness was being called because he said that I told him if there were any issues to reach out to probation. And so maybe my assumption isn't correct, but I assumed that this witness was going to be called to testify whether or not he reached out to her saying, hey, I have a problem maintaining my sobriety. I thought that's what her testimony was about or is supposed to be about. So that's what I'm looking for from this witness.
Just to clarify that, Judge, I think something got lost in the translation there.
Mhm.
What we're communicating to the court, just for clarity, is that when he got in trouble on June 1st, he called his probation officer.
But I mean, if you, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if you are charged with a new offense, according to the conditions of probation, you're supposed to reach out to your probation officer and say, I'm picking up a new case. He has pled true, and what he pled true to was the use of drugs. And then my recollection, if I'm wrong, please correct me. I don't hold it against anybody for correcting me. Sometimes I can be wrong, but he pled true to violations 2 and 2. And then he said, Judge, you told me if I ever needed any help to reach out to probation, and that's what I did. So I'm waiting for this witness to testify about his reaching out to her that, hey, I'm having problems maintaining my sobriety. If I am wrong in what I thought this witness was being called for, somebody please correct me. But that was my understanding.
If I may,
Yes.
Your Honor, I wasn't having any problems until this alleged robbery took place. When this alleged robbery took place, that's when I reached out to my probation officer, because to that point, I hadn't had any problems at all.
But the alleged, and I'm not taking this robbery as true, right? But the positive UA that you've pled true to happened in May. The alleged new case is on or about June 1st, 2025. Is the alleged new case on or about in May as opposed to June?
No, it's June.
No, that drug test is not on the correct day. That drug test was taken before I had the interview with the detective. I wanted to hurry up and get that done because I knew that it was possible that this detective could put a warrant out for my arrest. And I knew that once that I went up there and went to report with my probation officer, that if I got a warrant for my arrest, I'd be arrested. So as soon as this happened, I went up there to take that drug test. So that date, it must be in question, Your Honor.
So you're saying you didn't take a UA on May 1st, 2025?
I don't remember that date specifically, but I do remember running up there to take it because I asked my probation officer, or she instructed me to take the drug test several times, and I kept missing the appointment. And so this one I refused to miss, so I drove up there as fast as I could, got there right as they were closing. And
So you're saying they put the wrong date down. It did happen on May 1st.
so
Okay.
Judge, if I could just address one thing, I specifically asked him the question if he ever reached out to probation regarding sobriety issues and letting them know that he was under so much stress that he was going to ingest narcotics, and the answer was no.
that is so, Your Honor. When
I think the inference from this is, Judge, I'm being looked at, I'm under stress, so I use some drugs. I reported and took my drug test. That's been documented. I spoke to my probation officer that day. I don't know if that amounts to a meeting or not. And in June, I also made contact, right? And also submitted to a test and made a payment. Those facts can't be disputed.
But here's the thing, for the court, it's not even, of course, you shouldn't be testing positive while you're on probation. But my understanding is that the whole reason for this witness testimony was not whether he reported on this day or that day. It was about whether or not he reached out to his probation officer to say, I'm under stress, I'm having trouble maintaining my sobriety, help me. Because he told me, and if I'm wrong, again, somebody correct me, we can have the court reporter read it back. He said, Judge, you told us we could reach out to probation for help. And I did that. And I haven't heard any evidence that he reached out to probation saying, hey, I need help. I'm about to use, or I'm struggling maintaining my sobriety.
And just to pick up on the court's point, I think the miscommunication comes because he has a different recollection of the timeline for the test. And what I'm trying to draw out is that when he got implicated in this new situation, he did call. That the timeline.
Oh, did he call and say, I'm having trouble maintaining my sobriety?
He called and said, I'm being looked at.
No. Did he call and say, I'm having problems maintaining my sobriety?
He didn't handle the stress of that well. And he did use drugs, but he did show up for the test, knowing that he was dirty. He still showed up.
But no, did he? Because I'm trying to figure this out. Because he said that he reached out to probation because I told him if he ever needed any help to reach out for probation. And that's what he told me after he pled true to violations 2 and 2. So my question, and if it's yes or if it's no, it's just something for me to consider. My question is, did he reach out to probation and say, somebody help me, I am having problems maintaining my sobriety? That's what I need to know.
I would say the judge, you're correct that he did not communicate that. I'm just simply saying the reasons for that is I think the timeline was misunderstood. He committed this new offense, which he did communicate. After that, he said he spiraled a little bit and started using drugs, but still showed up for his drug test, even though he knew he was dirty.
But isn't the drug test before the alleged new number one?
There was one before and one after. I think the second was around June 16th or something like that.
No, both of these positive UAs are on or about May 1st.
So those, I don't believe that date to be correct, Your Honor.
Mhm.
And you are correct, Your Honor. I did not reach out for the purpose of help with sobriety at that point. When I found myself in trouble and I wanted to make record that this is what's going on, I needed some help. I didn't know who else to call about this situation that I was in. So I called my attorney. I called my probation officer and said, hey, I've been working for this lady. This thing is not seeming right. I feel like I'm about to get in trouble. I want to make record with you. Can you tell me what to do? And she did. That's the help that I called for initially. And I didn't make a call after that for help with the drugs.
And drugs are tough, Judge. They're highly addictive, and once you're on it, it's hard to get off.
I'm serious about my sobriety, Your Honor, and I've been going to AA classes and NA classes the whole time I was on probation, and the whole time since I've been here, I've still been participating in these classes on a weekly basis.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else from either side?
Nothing further.
All right. So the court is going to grant the motion. States you're asking for 8. How much time are you requesting?
It's a drug offense, Judge. We would ask for the minimum so he can get the help that he needs. I know TDC also provides some drug treatment programs. He's been participating in the jail since he's been arrested. And as he indicated, he was going to AA and NA while on probation. So I think he could benefit from some treatment. I believe that, again, a minimum sentence would allow him to get the treatment he needs in jail and come out and get on the right foot.
All right. If you'll go over the trial court certification with him, please.
And this is not a plea bargain case.
No, you all just have to fill out. I'll make the
Oh, okay,
decision on. No problem.
This is your appellate rights form. She's going to write on the record what your right of appeal is based on this particular hearing. I checked this box. She's saying don't check that box. She's going to check the appropriate box and make a record of the box that she checked.
So what am I signing?
Reserve defendant. Ignore that check right there. She's going to check whatever box she feels appropriate. I feel that one, but she's going to check the box and don't pay for that box. It's unmarked at this point. Stop. Right. Just
This could be me signing that we're going to prison.
no, this is you signing, saying I understand what my appellate rights are. You make the decision on the final. This is saying I know what my appellate rights are.
So we are now at a point where Your Honor is on the side on how am I getting in prison?
I believe so.
And if I don't sign this,
You don't have to sign it. Pass it here, please.
Your Honor, I don't want to anger you. I've been.
Oh, no,
so
here's the thing. I'm not angry. I don't get angry.
I mean, not anger, but I want to cooperate with you, Your Honor.
No, you don't have to sign it if you don't want to sign it. What I can tell you, that document tells you whether or not you have a right to appeal. And I'm the person who makes the decision on whether or not you have a right to appeal. And so once you sign that, I will let you know.
He's put his mark on there.
All right, thank you. So this is what the court is going to do. See, this is why you all shouldn't be checking the boxes, because the box checked is the incorrect box to check.
I didn't check that box, Your Honor.
Oh, I checked it. It's different by each county. But it's
No,
different.
that's the incorrect box to check. So to attorneys going forth, the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal, you don't get to decide whether or not your client has a right to appeal. That's the court. So the court should be checking boxes, and you all sometimes check wrong boxes. All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is finding violations 2 and 2 true. The court is going to grant the motion to revoke. The court is going to sentence you to 4 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. The therapeutic community, there's to be no contact with Mark Daniel Lewis. There's a $2,000 fine. There's to be no residing in households with minors and no unsupervised contact with minors. Did you review the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? You have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you are on community supervision. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Ross.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So, been sentenced to 4 years CDC,
Yes.
and what about the aggravated robbery charge?
Need an activated trial date.
All right. That's still pending. And just one moment with regards to that. Counsel, have you received discovery in that case?
I would need to check with my investigator and make sure we have it all.
All right. Let me just look and see what the cause number is for that. All right. So it's set for December 9th. So we'll see you back on December 9th.